Ugh. So you're telling me that I went out of my way to explain to you guys how I'm not a furry, and now I'm being accused of being a femboy? Why don't you guys ever believe me? It seems that the only way to prove that I'm not a femboy is by making a video talking about them like I did with the furry video. I mean, okay, I admit that I might have been a femboy in the past, but that's when I was younger, okay? We've all seen our fair share of femboys online. You'd be lying if you said I was one. Wait, before you judge me, let me at least explain to you what a femboy is first. For those of you who have been living under tectonic plates, it's just a guy, typically cisgender, who expresses themselves in a more feminine fashion. Of course, this isn't just exclusive to cis men, as anybody who identifies as a guy can be a femboy. This is not to be confused with cross-dressing, which is just dressing as the opposite gender. That's it. It doesn't get more complicated than that. So then why do I keep being accused of being a femboy? My new avatar doesn't look that feminine, right? Look, you guys can look at me however you want. I really don't mind. I mean, most of you guys still think I'm a furry, which I'm not, but it's become very common for people to call anyone who has slightly feminine features a femboy. The truth is that not everyone wants to be seen as one, and for good reason. It's not that being seen as a femboy is inherently bad, but the label has been bastardized completely. You see, a long time ago, I was exposed to many things on the internet. I know, many such cases. But unlike most people at the time, I was influenced by the cultural phenomenon known as anime traps. You know, typical trope where the protagonist thinks a character's a girl, but they're actually a guy? Everyone saw it as anime cringe slop, and all things considered, it was a bit slop. But for me, something in my brain clicked. Like many others, I took an interest in these effeminate characters as I grew. Astolfo, Venti, Pito. I am convinced Kanzaki from Blendes was a huge turning point for a lot of people.
Oh, Kanzaki, I love you. Oh.
Hey man, you know that character's a minor, right?
Oh. I love you!
I mean, in a matter of time, the internet made me question a lot of things. It even led me to dress like one, and I slowly started going through
the pipeline.
Though nowadays I just look like a straight man in real life. Sorry to disappoint anyone. I personally don't want to look the way I do now, but I don't got much of a choice. I'll leave that super personal story for another day. As the years flew by, I continued evolving and changing. I did slowly wean off the stereotypical style, mostly because I found better ways to express myself online. All the while, many of the views people had online about femboys changed. But what was once seen as a type of style and community you could be a part of, was now slowly being turned into a new not safe for work category. Oh, you think I'm joking? I'm not. It isn't much of a challenge to find a post about femboys and open the comments just to read the most thirsty comments known to man. This has always been an issue throughout time for anything or anyone slightly feminine. The way the internet perceived femininity in men began to change, leading to feminine men being instantly bunched up with a cookie-cutter understanding of femboys. Due to femboys being popular online, especially with younger people, many teens began catering to what was viewed as a real femboy. I don't think I need to go too in-depth when it comes to why it's questionable that a 14-year-old is posting TikToks of their thighs with a white Monster can in between them. Trust me, been there, done that. People have gotten quite bold in what they deem is okay to post on the internet. But the real danger lies when creepy adults find these vulnerable teens. I'm not saying that it's illegal for someone to want to dress femininely, but I am weary when the whole culture plays into being a sub or a bottom. Like, dude, you're 14. You should be worried about your grades, not if you're a subby wubby. I'm specifically talking about the stereotypical femboy look. Oh, hey there. Hey, so I don't really have any ads that I can play, and I have no way of transitioning from what you just heard and then the next line. I messed up a bit in the editing, so I'm just gonna pretend like this was intentional, and I'm gonna ask you to join my Discord server and subscribe, maybe. I'm really close to 10K. It would be really nice. Please subscribe! Please subscribe to me, I'm so close to 10K. Oh, please. I myself am a victim of the $20 Amazon long sock pack and choker deal. I remember one time wearing a choker and a styled mask for an entire day in high school. I just decided that I wanted to push out of my comfort zone to see if I could handle it. At first, I felt pretty confident walking around, but then I started getting a lot of looks as the day went by. Later during the day, when I was already feeling ashamed of my choice, I was randomly asked by some dude in class.
Oh, dude, what the fuck? Why are you wearing that? Are you one of those, like, weird kids? Man, oh, you! Oh!
I could say that this was one of those canon events that helped develop character, but all it did was destroy my self-esteem. I never wore anything femme publicly again. It still sucks that guys get weird looks for wearing even the smallest feminine accessory. That's why I envy people who can dress how they want without caring. I just wish more femboys would move past the cheap polyester Amazon fit. It sucks that the internet only promotes the generic Amazon femboys instead of the ones actually mixing fashion and breaking boundaries. Another thing you notice pretty quickly is how overwhelmingly white the visible femboy scene is online. People of color are much rare to see in the femboy community, partly because a lot of communities and stereotypes around masculinity for people of color make it harder or riskier to express femininity in the same way, as different cultural expectations and pressures push against it. It's because of these cultural expectations that the fashion for femboys actually ends up attracting extremists to partake in it as well. I'm not surprised that the community of femboys is heavily connected to radical beliefs due to its origin. Of course, not every femboy is like that, but the overlap with political extremists is pretty common. The whole aesthetic grew out of 4chan and Twitter after all, but I mean, surely this is as bad as a community can get, right?
Let's see who it will be.
Which one? I wasn't on the dark.
You have no idea how incredibly grateful I am that I wasn't part of the boy kisser era for femboys. Nothing has hit the femboy scene harder than the boy kisser meme. Ever since boy kisser was spread around, the influence it had on a bunch of impressionable 14-year-olds would create a literal black hole of one of the most insufferable pieces of media ever. You couldn't scroll without getting some post of a dog character with socks asking if you like boys. It got so bad that it even became a dog whistle for predators. Due to the heavy sexualization of femboys, things like boy kisser or even just dressing slightly suggestively became the norm for many of the femboys. Time and time again, I would see femboy creators cater to the masses by dressing themselves how the world expected them to look. This is something that potentially led the minors to engage in not safe for work activities, putting themselves in danger of being taken advantage of, even if the intent is just fashion. Not because everything has sexual intent, but because of how the internet influences the outcome of certain topics. This is actually something I've experienced and perpetuated myself, unfortunately. I was young when I was exposed to not safe for work content, and it did lead me down a path of hypersexuality and the need to cater to what people believed a femboy was. This is also why I eventually separated myself from the term. It created over-the-top standards, and the whole looks female enough thing turned it into something else. The line between femboy and trans got completely blurred online, causing unnecessary blowback for femboys who ended up transitioning. A lot of others just stayed in this weird middle space where chasers treat them like fetish objects instead of actual people. That's exactly why I stepped back. I just wanted to look nice, not become a category. This is like this one time at the end of high school. I was hanging out with a friend of mine while we were waiting to be dismissed. From what I knew, he was a huge fan of femboys, and at some point, he felt it appropriate to show me a picture of a trans person and say,
"Oh, that's a really hot trap."
I looked at them confused for a moment, so I said to them, trap isn't a term I'd use for a trans person, plus they're not a femboy. Trap is usually used for, I don't know, anime or porn. I don't think you should call anyone that. As my friend, he nodded his head, learned from his mistakes, and became a better person. He told me to shut up and stabbed me a million times. Being a femboy isn't inherently bad, and it's just another form of self-expression. Although I can't really say I'm in tune with the community like I used to be, since I'm far more masked now, I believe it is a great way to break a lot of gender norms society has built. The hyper-masculine attitude we've given men is definitely a problem I see in society, and being able to express yourselves more femininely, even a little, might help us be true to ourselves. At the very least, please take from this video a cautionary tale to be more careful with these communities you interact with, as it doesn't take a lot to fall into a pipeline. I know I never went through a pipeline. Shit. That took forever to post. I worked so hard on this, and admittedly, I did cut a few corners. Not because I wanted to, but last time I posted was like 4 months ago. I honestly should have posted this so much earlier, but it's fine. It's here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and at least agree with some of the stuff I said. I could do a part 2 in the future. There is still so much I could talk about this topic. Do know that I do have a future video plan, a big one. A 20-minute video about my Japan trip back in 2025. That should have been out last year as well, but I've kind of lacked a bit on it. But I will work on it, and it'll be higher quality, I promise, I guarantee. It's my bunny guarantee. But apart from that, you guys can join the Discord server and post your bunny pictures. I'll look at them. I'll put them at the end like I did here. Anyways, I don't really know how to end this, so I'm probably just gonna like cut it off awkwardly with like a little bit of a black